Hi everybody and welcome to the Toy Wrestling Federation Friday Night SmackDown. Sorry we started later than we should have had. Um, if you saw Impact Wrestling, then you know The Rock is now a two-time TWF World Heavyweight Champion, and that Godzilla. Wow, why do I think I go for it? And we all know how that's gonna be. You know. Now, regardless of all that stuff going on lately, and we trying to think who the number one contender to the TWF World Heavyweight Championship is, and that's going to be debated. Plus, we do know that Kang's suspension has been reviewed, and that Kang will eventually have a match sometime down the road with Batman, when we eventually know that the TWF Allegheny County Championship will soon be defended. Shrek to meet Kofi Kingston. Where we got new TWF World Tag Team Champions Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns here. Well, let's go. Hi everyone. And today Xena says, we want to ask people ask me, Xena, who will be the new TWF World Head? Who will The Rock defend the TWF World Heavyweight Championship over? Who will have that opportunity? Now, also Xena says, I've been looking into the Kang incident between Batman, and Kang has been suspended indefinitely. But I'm also here to say that Kang's suspension will only be relisted if Kang himself apologizes for his actions against Batman, and so far Kang has not done that yet. So, also on there, Kofi Kingston will defend his TWF Allegheny County. The Shrek will meet Kofi Kingston. The Power Rangers get a return match against the Shield. Kang and Batman will fight out again for the Light Heavyweight Championship. And as far as the women's championship is concerned, that falls into Gil Kim's jurisdiction. And speaking of that, I have Gil Kim with me right now. Now, Gil, I understand Xena says that you recently turned heel after AJ Lee retained her belt against Madison Rayne. And I want to ask you, do you think that's a good job? Do you think that the general manager of the TWF Women's Division is going to get an A+ for what you've been doing? Well, I put it this way, Xena. You know, AJ Lee, she's nothing more, than a Gil Kim wannabe. Let's look at the facts. When I left the World Wrestling Entertainment in August of actually my contract expired in September, but I'll tell you, that's when AJ Lee came on the scene. She started copying everything I did. I was having a relationship with Daniel Bryan. She had a relationship with Daniel Bryan. I became a record 5-time TNA Knockouts Heavyweight Champion, and she had to become a 2-time WWE Divas Heavyweight Champion. I win the WWE Women's Heavyweight Championship. She has to outdo me by winning the SCW Divas Heavyweight Championship. So, I was only pretending to be her friend. Well, that's okay. You're only pretending, Gil, because you're only pretending. Because next you're going to face her. And let's just put it this way, Gil Kim. You are going to have to deal with AJ Lee. I wash my hands. Anything AJ Lee does to you, Gil, is on you. But that's not right. You're the general manager. I can go to Commissioner Godzilla. I can go to the executive director of Wrestling Operations 4. I could even go to over your head if I need to. And let's not forget about the executive vice president of talent relations, Theodore Long, or the executive vice president of television productions, Hulk Hogan, or the executive vice president of creative, Eric Bischoff, or the chief brand officer, Divatox, or the executive vice president of human resources, Godzilla, or the executive vice president of legal counsel, Clarence Mason, chief operating officer, Princess Jasmine, chief executive officer, Aladdin. Hell, I could be railing up the chairman of the board, Vince Kamicki, vice chairman of the board, Shane Kamicki, and the deputy principal owners, Corona and Ecliptor. So I can go to your head. I can do this, Gil Kim. I can fire you. Or I can force you to go one-on-one with AJ Lee. And I just did. Get out of my face. Now, since I got that taken care of, now on to something else. Yes, the heavyweight championship situation. I think that it would be appropriate for me to have another opportunity to become a three-time TWF World Heavyweight Champion. Well, I don't know if that's going to stand up very well. Ain't that a conflict of interest since she's the general since Zena's the general manager of the Toy Wrestling Federation and Gabrielle the executive administrator? But Zena, ain't that a conflict of interest? No, it ain't a conflict of interest, Gabrielle. It's not a conflict of interest. And I know there's a lot of people in the back. Uh-oh. It only means one thing. Here comes Godzilla, the commissioner of the Toy Wrestling Federation, and the executive director of Wrestling Operations 4, who just falls over. Xena, that is not in the best interest. That's a conflict of interest, Godzilla says. I can juggle it just fine. No, it's certainly not, Godzilla says. And as commissioner of the Toy Wrestling Federation and also chairman of the championship committee, I'm also here to tell you that's a conflict of interest. Well, Godzilla, that's a conflict of interest, Godzilla says. I don't think it'll do very well. Godzilla, you're to talk. I mean, once upon a time when you were the commissioner, the first time around, you were Intercontinental Champion on 2 different occasions. You were the TWF World Heavyweight Champion on 2 different occasions. The Hardcore Champion and a 2-time World Tag Team Champion. And you were the commissioner, and you're telling me that that's a conflict of interest. Who wasn't that? Well, I made a lot of mistakes, Godzilla says. I'm not perfect. So yeah, I made mistakes. But I think it is not in the best interest for you to want to do that. So I have to overrule you in that area. Oh yeah. Yeah, I guess, Godzilla, then you're going to grade me, Xena says. You're going to grade me and say, Xena, you got an F! Or something like that. You know, we have to We have to come up with who the number one contender is anyway. Well, I mean, let's go for the list. Godzilla, that means I'm out. That means it's not. It could be me, Xena said, you Godzilla. Dennis Rodman could open his damn mouth. So could Brock Lesnar and James Storm. Sting and The Undertaker could make arguments. So could Superman, Hercules, Shrek could make arguments. So could AJ Lee and Gil Kim could make arguments. Kofi Kingston could make arguments over who they are. Over who should be the number one contender. Well, those are all good arguments over that. But I do think, and he's in hell, Hulk Hogan and The Rock. Hulk Hogan could make argument. John Cena could bring up a good argument. Hell, Booker T could bring up arguments. So could Bobby Lashley, Taz. Rob Van Dam, Sabu, they could all bring up arguments. Triple H could throw his name out there. Kane could throw his name out there. So yeah, there's Daniel Bryan, who by the way is still injured at this moment. You know, could throw his name out there. I'm thinking we got to come up with somebody. Godzilla said, who's going to do it? I have a good idea for, says, who I think should be the number one contender to the TWF World Heavyweight Championship and World Heavyweight Championship. Okay, Godzilla said, let me hear this idea. Well, sir, I don't know if you're going to like this idea or not, but there's a lot of people in the back. And that's only half of the people who won the belt over the years. You know, you're also leaving out Captain America. You're leaving out Mulan. You know, Daniel Bryan. I mean, you're leaving out a lot of people. I mean, hell, even Rhino could have a claim on the belt. So you're putting, you're basically, you know, Vader, you're putting a lot of people on it. Bobby Lashley, Taz. I mean, there's a lot of people back there who could put. Oh, Alberto Del Rio could also put out a claim, but I'm not even sure. You're not sure. I mean, seriously, I don't know. Force says, because it's tough for us to actually, you know, come out with somebody. Either Montero could put a claim on it. Aries could put a claim on it, so could Lord Zed. Wait a minute, Paulie Dangerously and Brock Lesnar. I don't know what they're doing out here for. Alright. Sorry to interrupt this argument. Well, now at least I now know how the championship committee comes up with these things. You know, I could just see it now. You got the executive vice president of talent relations. Then after that you get the executive vice president of creative. Overrank it with the commissioner who chairmans the whole freaking meetings and the general manager. Now we know why. Yeah, it's bigger. That's why a committee should. That's why bookers should only have 2 people. You know, because apparently if you have way too many people, then it's basically hard to decide who's going to win it. I fear pain because when I ran ECW, when I booked ECW, at least from 1992 to 1996, I had problems. Convert that, I can relate to you because Tommy Dreamer, Bobby Ray had problems trying to come up with who they wanted to face, so I feel sorry for you. And plus, I was also a head booker from 2001 to 2003, so I can understand how hard it is to come up with people. And I only had one assistant booker with me at that time, Michael PX Hayes. Then I had Eric Bischoff. But hey, I was not talk about that. But I could save you all the grief. You should just put Brock in that place. Because even though everyone you mentioned, is qualified, Brock Lesnar is a legitimate badass. You could make an argument that Brock Lesnar, and Cena, no disrespect to you, but Brock Lesnar, he is probably the best warrior we ever had. Hell, if Brock Lesnar was a gladiator, he would kick Spartacus' ass. And they would have no choice but to award him his freedom. So, who's it going to be? That's the problem, Cena says. What's Brock done lately except lose to John Cena? Seriously, Gabrielle said, the guy hasn't done that much. Ford says, you bring a good point, Paul, but the bad problem is Brock lost to John Cena. And Godzilla says, yeah, unless you want to do something to convince me on that statement, I can do a lot. I'm going to say it once, Brock says. If you're a legitimate tough guy holding the belt again, just pick me, because I'm only going to say it once. And next time I say it, it's going to be a fist going into someone's face. So you want a chance to burst the Rock? Yeah. All right. Why not? Let's give you the chance to do it. Well, did you hear that? Man, I say, Xena, Gabrielle, Godzilla, and Thor, they know how to do business, Brock, and you know how to stand up for yourself. Yeah, Paul, I do. Now let me say it like this. Everybody else, the line starts behind me. You cut in line, I smash your head in, and that's all I'm going to say, Brock says. Now, Brock, you think you're some type of great guy because you won the TWF World Heavyweight Championship at least about 2 times. I won that multiple times. Oh, you also and as far as James Storm, as far as some of these people are concerned, I'm not happy about the. There's Ryback with James E. Cornette. They didn't list my name, Ryback says. I guess my name must have flipped out of their minds. Okay, Ryback, I guess you want to get hurt. You want to get hurt, Brock. I'm a multi-time World Heavyweight Champion too. Paul, you know that you're owing my guy a return match. Okay, why not? Since Brock's in a great mood, how about we just have Brock Lesnar beat the shit out of Ryback Part 2? Well, apparently that's what we're having here. And and it is not using a match. Get the fuck out of the ring. You see, Brock proved one more time, people, how very dominant he is. He just beat up Ryback and threw this fucker out of the ring. Now, where were we before Ryback retard decided to come out and interrupt us, and James E. Cornette thought his guy could actually beat my guy? Yeah. Okay. Apparently, James Storm has fired me as his manager. Says he's not a Dangerously guy, not a Heyman guy anymore. Well, you weren't really much of anyone to begin with, James Storm. I mean, this is a guy who, when you win the World Heavyweight, the TNA Heavyweight Championship, In Barrisling, you only hold it for a week, then you lose it to Robert Roode. You win it in the TWF, only to lose it the next day to The Rock. Jeez, James, how stupid can you possibly be? Now, I'm sure somebody, you know, I'm sure somebody out here wants to get in Brock's face and mess with him. Oh boy. Oh, apparently you're back again. Yeah, because I just found out what Brock can do to actually earn a title shot against The Rock. What's that? He can face me, Xena says. Are you kidding me? You want to get hurt, Xena. Is that what you want? Yeah, I know I can beat him. So, if he beats me, then he gets his title shot against The Rock. Well, Deanie, we got this match going now. Brock Lesnar versus Xena right now. Oh, Brock started beating her up in the corner. Fucking bitch, not even useful. And now Xena getting beat up here. Just like The Undertaker. Even worse. Wait a minute. Brock's going to try to get Xena up in the F5. Oh! Ain't going to do nothing to me. Wait a minute. And Brock Lesnar's trying to do the submission hold. He's trying to do the arm bar. One of the other submission hold. Here. Some people might say that was a little conflict of... Some people might say it was a conflict of interest. Uh-oh, well... Ew. And somebody might say, oh, how was that little conflict of interest going? Whoever it was. Wait a minute, and Xena's getting back up right now, folks. She's fighting, she just fought right out of the move. Brock in trouble, and knocked him down. Xena right now. It's gonna be. She got Brock Lesnar all down a tombstone pile driver. And this is what Brock has to do. Brock has to beat Xena for him to get his title shot against The Rock here. And Paul Heyman trying to interfere, and she just kicked him off. But that was basically, wait a minute. He's gonna do it again. He's going to get Xena back up here. F5. Oh! And right now, Brock wants to try to beat... Brock wants to try to beat her. Wait a minute. Ryback! The referee only knows why he ain't doing this. Oh! Ryback just did his move to Brock Lesnar, and that's it. Xena's on him. 1, 2, 3. Ding. Here is your winner, and now the #1 contender to the Rock's the World Heavyweight Championship. Xena, so the general manager is now the conflict of interest because she's beat Brock Lesnar by the help of Ryback. And Brock Lesnar not happy about it. What the fuck are all my faces? Oh! And out goes the referee. I don't know what happened here. How the hell did that happen? Why did Ryback have to come down and interfere? Somebody needs to do something about this. This is wrong. Paul Heyman said, you can't have Ryback come down and interfere in Brock's match. Actually, Godzilla says Brock Lesnar attacked Ryback. But of course, Ryback didn't have any business being in your mat, so you're right. But I can make things very easy for you. How about Brock Lesnar versus Ryback? Because we all know everybody wants to see that Part 2 match. Well, it looks like that's all the time we have here in the Toy Wrestling Federation as far as Friday Night SmackDown is concerned. We'll see you tomorrow for Explosion.